Born during the First World War, Lady Olivia was a successful novelist in her youth, writing such novels as St. Malachi's Court. She co-founded the Fellowship of Isis together with her brother, Lawrence, Baron Robertson of Strathlock, and his wife, Lady Pamela, both now in spirit. The Fellowship of Isis is dedicated to the feminine aspect of God, and is one of the world's largest goddess spirituality organizations. Today, at the age of 90, Lady Olivia continues to lead the fellowship with the energy and enthusiasm of a schoolgirl, which many people see as evidence of her connection to the divine feminine. I asked Lady Olivia in our interview how she felt about people regarding her as a living saint or even a living goddess, and her answer says a great deal about her. The last interview we did has been seen in a lot of places.
Yeah, it was seen in Ireland. They were delighted, and in England. It really spreads your stuff. I was amazed, very pleased.
So a lot of people will see this one, and what would you like to say to them? Since they're listening to you at this moment.
I'm going to say to them, don't believe this stuff that you'll just become part of a cosmic vegetable soup when you die. You survive death just the way you are. There is another life. I think that's the thing. So you don't have to go pin and tucking and trying to look young all the time. It's just silly. I mean, get old. You've got an ever-living soul and spirit. Next, don't demonize other people. Don't say, be spiteful. However much you dislike somebody, try and see the divine bit. Even one good thing, that they're good to their cat or feed the birds or something. You know, that's the best bit of advice I can believe in. Because I think that is Isis. That's what Isis. She goes wandering around looking for the bits of her husband that were scattered all over the place, which is a myth, really. Look for the hidden gold within everybody.
That's wonderful. The central piece of the convention is the mystery play.
Yes.
And you created, brought through, facilitated all of these plays.
Yes.
And that must be an awesome process.
Well, the thing is, I had to be inspired by the goddess, and my brother and I, the Reverend Lawrence Durden Robertson, believed in everything was BC with us. We always went back to the old text, not what other people said. And I wanted to present the whole panorama of world religions through the liturgy and do my own input through oracles and various bits and pieces. And this one is about Nuit. I love this idea of the goddess Nuit, indigo-coloured lady with nothing on, covered with stars, and forming the Milky Way, and where it, the bit it divides, there are two legs. Well, it's a lovely idea. And she has a twin sister called Naut, N-A-U-T, and she's the night sky, she has the moon. So first of all, it's interesting, Nuit is the day sky, so they knew there were stars at the day, and then her twin sister pops up later on, so it makes rather a round Earth.
Beautiful. For people who are interested in the Fellowship of Isis liturgy and the mystery plays, what would you advise them in approaching them?
I'd say that fairy tales are the very essence of our whole history, our religion, everything else, and that they really mask the ancient mysteries. Cinderella would be the story of Cupid and Psyche, and so on, the soul, and rather like the magic flute of Mozart and Shakespeare's Tempest. And so I'd say approach the mysteries as telling you about your divine self. When you sleep, in this world is all a dream, it's transient. But the real world is there all along. And the mysteries get you through to that real world, like listening to Beethoven or seeing Shakespeare. It gets you through to what I call reality, a greater reality. This is real, but this is a greater reality.
Did you have a good 90th birthday?
I had a terrific time. I tell you why, it was very funny at Clonegal. Instead of just having a sort of candlelit dinner party with a few relatives, had 70 people, 30 of my own cousins. The village people joined our procession. There's a lovely folk singer called Julie Felix, who's one of our priestesses. She led, along with a drummer, Lydia Light, and we went all around the grounds down the old U Walk, and it was wonderful to me to see the local ordinary people, Catholics from Clonegal. Then you saw sort of people from London, members from Glastonbury, members from Dublin, and people who were interested, and old friends, and my children, all forming this huge procession. We had ordination during my celebrations. We went to the temple, And then we didn't go all grand, we just had a few people at dinner. We all went down to the local pub and had a huge tea.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, well, it's democratic. It was for my birthday. I shared with the goddess. I dedicated to her and to my niece, aged 25, who's half Indian, called Trisala, who was born like me on Friday the 13th. Only I was 1917 of April. She was born Friday the 13th, much, much younger.
Of all the different leaders of goddess spirituality and spiritual movements in general, you're one of the most revered by the members of your organization.
Well, I'm getting a nice sort of psychic power coming to my head when you said that. Thanks a lot. Encouraging.
Many people look at you as a living saint, and I just wonder how you deal with that.
Well, you see, luckily I'm living with a perfectly skeptical, normal family, and any stuffing had been knocked out of me. Thank God, I had the most ferocious parents. You know, they were very fierce. I had a very tough family, and you know, the younger generation in the army and stuff, and all that business, it doesn't exist in their universe. You know what I mean? I do my own, look after my own things. I do my own washing, I sort of make up things, I'm not waited on, and I go for 2 or 3 mile walk a day, and I work, and live a perfectly normal life, thank heaven, so I don't get paranoia. I mean, it's so awful meeting all these Nefertitis. You just don't meet one Nefertiti. Cleopatra's, Queen Hatshepsut, they're all one of Henry VIII's wives. Why do they want to have their heads cut off? Because they were queens. Well, I'm not a queen, I don't go on like that. I'm not into queens. All saints, for that matter. I make one mistake a day. That's quite enough, I think, to disqualify me.
I think that's probably exactly why you're so respected.
Well, good. I like to be something good and something normal.
One more question, and at 90, you are so full of energy, and I guess my last question is, what would you advise people who hope to live to be 90 and have anything like the energy you have?
Well, I may have to put up with living to be 90. Do you know, I invent a different reason every single time, but I think the best thing is to be happy now and not to go complaining, whining. Often when you get older, you know, people complain it wasn't like the good old days. They were awful old days. The people were poor and hungry. You know, to accept where you are. Where you are is real. There are greater realities, yes, but I would just suggest to be friendly. And not to make enemies, try and see other people's point of view, and above all, be happy. And I just am. And happy now, not tomorrow or yesterday, but now, I'd say. That's only an idea, though.
Well, thank you so much.
I've enjoyed, I always like meeting you every year. It's great. You're doing great work with your Corellian Wicca. It's getting very popular all over Europe.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope that you've enjoyed our interview with the Honorable Olivia Robertson, and that you'll join us again next week for another episode of Living the Wiccan Life. Until then, this is Reverend Don Lewis. May you blessed be.